Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Traces of Sin, also known as Gukoroku, a Japanese film from 2016. Now, a magazine reporter named Tanaka, played by Satoshi Tsumabuki, is granted a request to investigate a year-old murder case gone cold, where a perfect family, consisting of a successful businessman, his beautiful wife, and adorable child, were brutally murdered, and the culprit got away. Now, our protagonist decides to interview some of the family's acquaintances to see if he could get enough information for a news story. And meanwhile, Tanaka himself is burdened when his younger sister Mitsuko, played by Hikari Mitsushima, is arrested for child abuse. Now, the opening hour of Traces of Sin is very much an ensemble affair. In fact, very little time is spent with Mitsuko, and Tanaka's interviews frequently transition into extended flashbacks involving the people who interacted with the victims. So we spend quite a bit of time with a handful of different characters before the film shifts back its focus to our leads during the second half. Now, during the opening hour, there really is not much progress made in terms of finding out who actually killed the family. Instead, this film decides to focus more on its overall theme, which is the manipulation of people within a hierarchical society. And we see references to this very early on. For example, one character is a manager who works at a reputable business, but intentionally hires attractive women so that his male coworkers can coerce sexual favors out of them. Now, another character is a student at a reputable university, but uses their status as an elite member of society to manipulate other students. Now, the implication being that people in a higher social class can pull strings to get what they want out of other people. So needless to say, most of the characters in Traces of Sin are portrayed in an unflattering light. But it's surprisingly interesting to watch because the manipulations are realistic and sly, even passive at times. Now, I found this to be pretty thought-provoking, and I would say that that's the case because the script writing communicates things in intelligent, subtle ways that will require a little bit of thinking on the viewer's part to piece some things together. There are some important facts that are cleared up through dialogue, but there were quite a few situations where I had to figure it out on my own, using clues that were provided. And that's good. You don't always want, to find the murderer, have them sit down at a police station and tell the cops why they murdered everybody. That does not happen in this, which I liked. It's more natural not to do that. Some of the best moments in Traces of Sin are the revelations that occur during the second half, which is surprisingly riveting on a dramatic level. And one thing I can see being a potential problem for some viewers is the slow pacing, and the fact that, as I mentioned previously, there are stretches where very little progress is made to identify the murderer. But if you keep the main themes in mind and pay attention, there is a lot to enjoy in this movie. I found myself really wanting to know the answers to the open issues, not just the identity of the murderer, but some of the other questions that I had regarding the character relationships and their histories. Performances and direction are top-notch. This is an impressive directorial debut by a man named Kei Ishikawa. He's definitely on my radar now, and I will definitely seek out whatever he decides to do next. I mean, Tsumabuki is good as always in the lead role. He plays a gloomy character here, but has a few really good moments, actually, one of which is early on. Mitsushima steals the show during the second half, I think. I don't think I've seen her play a character quite like this before, so I like that, and she really nails it. So in summary, I definitely recommend Traces of Sin, which is available on Region 2 DVD with English subtitles, as well as Region A Blu-ray with English subtitles again. So as always, we will see you next time.